Hello, Dr. Dike Drummond here at the home of thehappymd.com in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Welcome to the latest episode of the Physicians on Purpose podcast. Tools so you can recognize and prevent your own burnout. Stories of burnout put to its highest and best use, and wellness leadership strategies. Everything you need to be a physician on purpose. Hello again, Dr. Dike Drummond here at the home of thehappymd.com in beautiful Seattle, Washington, with the latest edition of the Physicians on Purpose podcast. And what I'm going to do right now is start a short series of mini trainings, just 6-8 minutes apiece, that are going to bust the common myths about burnout. Let me give you those myths right up front. Hopefully they make you feel a little uncomfortable, but until you know the truth behind these common misperceptions, it's really hard to recognize and prevent your own burnout. Myth number one, burnout has nothing to do with your batteries being run down. That's the one we're going to address with these first 3 short trainings. Myths number 2 and 3 are related to each other. It's burnout is fundamentally not a problem, and therefore there is no solution. As a matter of fact, addressing burnout effectively uses a different S word than the word solution. If you keep trying to fix it, one-shot cure, the magic potion, the snake oil, you're going to fail miserably. So let me show you how to approach burnout differently than trying to solve it. These first 3 videos, what I'm going to do is show you step by step a model of the way energy works in a doctor that is accurate, unlike the metaphor and the model batteries that get run down. So have you ever said that about yourself? You get really exhausted. Maybe it's been a really rough time and you say to yourself, I'm not sure how much longer I can keep going like this. When you're in that stage, have you ever said to yourself or to anybody else, my batteries are run down, I just need to recharge? Come on, have you? Well, when I'm training big rooms of doctors, 200-300 doctors in a medical staff meeting, and I ask that question and raise my hand, I notice all the hands in the room go up. Real common metaphor, totally inaccurate. Stop it. Never say that again. And let me tell you why, as simply as possible. The most common battery-powered image that I can think of is the Energizer Bunny. And if I'm the Energizer Bunny, boom, 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 marching across the floor, and my battery runs out, what do? Starts with an S. The word you're looking for starts with an S. What does the Energizer Bunny do when his battery runs out? He stops. So real quick, when did you ever stop? When did you ever stop in your training? When do you ever stop when you have patient care responsibilities? And if you ever did, or if you ever were to stop, what would happen to your career? Now, we live with 2 prime directives as physicians. One of them, everybody says, patient comes first, right? The patient comes first, which means you put the patient ahead of your own interest and you can overextend yourself into burnout. The second of the 2 prime directives is never show weakness. Never do anything to make anybody think you haven't got what it takes. And the prime example of that would be stopping, calling in sick, saying you need a break, anything like that. And most doctors would never do that if they could avoid it. I mean, if energy in a doctor worked the way a battery works in the Energizer Bunny, every morning in every residency program in the world, you'd come in and there'd be dead battery residents just stacked up like cordwood, stopped in the hallway. You have to scoop them up, throw them on the pile out in the parking lot out back, and recruit a whole new class every day. So clearly that's not accurate. Let me give you a different model and a different metaphor to understand this. It's an energetic bank account. It's an account that holds your life force. And imagine it, if you will, as a tall rectangle. A tall rectangle. The very top line of the rectangle has an F next to it because that's the full mark. And about 2/3 of the way down, there's another line across the rectangle that is marked E. That's the empty line. That's empty in the tank. And then down below the empty line, there's a big area of this rectangle that is red. It's below 0. What does that mean? Well, this account is very much like the account that holds your money at the bank. And let's just talk about this empty mark and this red area below zero as it relates to that money account. If you've ever overdrawn your bank account, do they close it? Do they close your account when you overdraw it? Well, the answer is no. What they do is what? What do? They stack on fees and interest. And in your bank account where your money is held, as you cross the zero threshold, they actually drive you deeper into the red with the fees and interest. Well, for energy, every doctor is exquisitely familiar with what it's like to be in the red, to be below zero. You're still showing up even though your energy is below zero. Remember, the Energizer Bunny stops when they're empty. You don't. That's against your programming. This big red area below zero, the negative energy area, for doctors, that's called residency. That's where before there were work hour restrictions and even after there are work hour restrictions on how many hours a resident can work, routinely you'll be pushed below zero on your energy level. People who are not doctors would call in sick. You can't. Never show weakness. Now, the challenge is this showing up with a negative energy level is common, but does it affect your performance? Do you think if I measured your performance taking care of patients on a day when your energy is in the red below zero and compare it to the quality of your performance on your day is in the white and you have a positive energy level, would I be able to measure a difference? And the answer is yes. You aren't going to be able to tell personally because you're just showing up and doing the work like you know you have to. But we can measure differences. That's what burnout does to quality, safety, medical errors, malpractice risk, all of that. Now, this is true. We are taught to ignore our energy levels and keep showing up when we're in the red and do the best we can. That is true. But for right now, let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on maintaining a positive energy balance because all good things come from a positive energy balance. This is where you take good care of your patients. They enjoy being cared for by you. You enjoy your job. You're a better team leader. And since you take it home with you, you also are a better mother, father, partner. You enjoy your career and your life more when your energy is positive. The key is always maintain a positive energy balance. Even though in training that was trained out of you, your energy was irrelevant as long as you showed up and continued to do the work. Which leads us to the first and only thermodynamic law of energy in physicians. And that law is you can't give what you ain't got. You can't give energy you don't have. You're still going to show up and do work, but you're a shadow of your normal self when your energy is below zero. So let's just seal that learning in. If you would, as you're listening to me, point your dominant index finger in your air. So dominant hand, index finger, point it up now, put it right on your heart and repeat after me. Say what I say right here. Ready? I can't give what I ain't got. Great. You're going to do the best you can, but it's still not your best when your energy is below zero. And remember, we take this home. So I'm talking about at work in your training with your patients, but I'm also talking about as a leader of your team. And I'm also talking about when you go home. Because burnout and this negative energy level is sort of like the character Pigpen in the Charlie Brown cartoons. You know, he's got that cloud of dirt all around him. We drag it around all over the place and it gets on everybody. So burnout has nothing to do with batteries being run down. It has to do with continuing to show up at work when your energy level is below zero, something you were trained to be able to do. An awareness of your energy level is something you were trained to ignore in your education process to become a doctor. Now, that's the first part. I've got two more little trainings here on the energy accounts because this level one shows you the positive and negative in the energy accounts. I just want you to know there's three of these energy accounts, right? Each account, when it's in a negative balance, leads to a different symptom of burnout, and each one is filled in a little bit different way. And I'm going to walk you through all of those in our next part 2 of burnout has nothing to do with your batteries being run down. That's it for today. I'll see you on the next podcast. Dike Drummond, thehappymd.com in beautiful Seattle, Washington. We'll see you on the next Physicians on Purpose podcast. Until then, keep breathing and have a great rest of your day.